You ever look at a corporate report and feel like you're trying to read a secret code? Well, today we're handing you the decoder ring. We are going to crack open one of the most important documents a company publishes and find the real human story that's usually hidden behind all that jargon. All right, let's get into it.
I mean, what if you could find a single document where a company just lays it all out? Its biggest dreams, its grand plans for the future, and, yeah, even the fears that keep the CEO up at night. You know, a place where all the cards are right there on the table.
Well, here's the cool part. You can. It's not exactly a secret diary, but it's the next best thing. It's a public document called the Form 10-K. And to show you exactly how to read one, we're going to spend today dissecting the 2025 report from a company called Nortech Systems.
Okay, first things first. Before we get into the drama, we have to understand the basics. Think of this as the who are you part of the story. So, who exactly is Nortech Systems?
So in a nutshell, Nortech, which has been around since 1990, builds the really complex electronic guts for big, important machines. They focus on three main areas: the medical field, aerospace and defense, and heavy industry. And they're a global company with operations in the US, Mexico, and China.
And this right here, this chart, tells you what really drives their business. The medical market, that's their bread and butter. It makes up more than half of all their sales. And that one little fact tells you something huge. The health of the entire medical device industry is absolutely critical for Nortech to succeed.
Okay, so now we know who they are. The next question is, where are they trying to go? This next part is all about ambition. It's the company's game plan for how they're going to win. And this slide, this gets to the heart of their entire strategy. See, Nortech is making a really big pivot. They're moving away from an old model where they just sold parts, mostly competing on price, to a whole new model where they sell complete value-added solutions. They don't want to just be a supplier anymore, they want to be an essential partner.
That all sounds great in a presentation, right? But how are they actually making that shift happen? Well, the 10K tells us that too. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're investing in the future. And here is the proof. In 2025 alone, Nortech pumped over $1 million into research and development. Now, that is not just a random number on a spreadsheet. It's a statement. It's a signal that they are dead serious about making this strategic shift happen.
So where's all that R&D money going? Well, it looks like they're betting big on one specific area, fiber optic technology. And why there? Because their customers, whether they're in medicine, defense, or industry, they all need the same thing: to move more data, faster, and more reliably than ever before. This is Nortech trying to solve tomorrow's problems today.
Now we get to what I think is the most fascinating, most revealing part of any 10K. We've seen the ambition, now comes the tension. This is the section where the company legally has to tell us everything that could go wrong. It's literally called the risk factors section. And by law, every single public company has to lay out the major threats to their business. It is a mandatory moment of total honesty, and believe me, it's where you find some of the juiciest details.
Let's start with this number, 32.2%. Just let that hang there for a second. What on earth could that be? It's a big number, and it represents a huge, huge risk.
That is the percentage of Nortech's total sales that came from one single customer. Almost a third of their entire business is tied up in this one relationship. In business speak, this is called customer concentration, and it is a massive vulnerability.
And look, they don't try to hide it. It's written right there, plain as day. They state the obvious but absolutely crucial fact. Losing that one customer would seriously hurt the company. This is the kind of clear, direct risk you should always be looking for.
Okay, here's another big one, and this one is all about control. A single group of shareholders actually owns the majority of the company. So Nortech has to admit that this group could make decisions that might be great for them, but maybe not so great for all the other investors.
And finally, a risk that should sound pretty familiar to anyone in manufacturing these days. Their entire operation relies on a super complex global supply chain. Any little hiccup, shortages, delays, price hikes, can cause a domino effect and hurt their ability to build their products and keep their customers happy.
So, we've looked at Nortech's foundation, we've seen their ambition, and we've peeked behind the curtain at their biggest worries. Now, let's pull this all together into a really simple framework you can use to read any company's annual report.
Honestly, it just comes down to these three things. Step 1, find the foundation. What does this company actually do? Step 2, identify the ambition. What's their big plan for the future? And step 3, understand the tension. What are the major risks that could stop that plan in its tracks? Foundation, ambition, tension. That's it. That's the story.
Because at the end of the day, a 10K is so much more than just a boring financial document. When you know how to look at it, it stops being about numbers and it starts being a story. It's a company's autobiography, and they write a new chapter every single year, telling you exactly where they've been, where they're trying to go, and what they're afraid of along the way.
Every single public company out there has one of these stories, filled with its own unique blend of ambition and risk. Now that you have the decoder ring, the only question left is, whose story will you read next?